I'm your host, Seth the Dark Child.
Hey, I'm your host, twinsinc.
Our show is about two guys and any plans to have them come over with a topic that we want to chop up.
This is our barbershop style podcast. We discuss it all. If the dog at the shop will go in on it, we will. Let's chop it up.
We back.
Long time, but we home.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy twinsinc,
With Seth the Dark Child.
and this is the DaChop Team.
Uh,
We've been gone for a minute. A lot of things going on in the back end, but we still here. We still chopping things up. You know, life, family, vacation, things happen, right?
absolutely.
But we here. We got new content that we'll be doing, so stay tuned, tap in. But let's get right into it on this wonderful day. So first off, live recordings, 3 p.m. on Sundays, right? So for my people who want to watch the show live, this is on YouTube. Subscribe to us, the DaChop Team on YouTube, live every 3 p.m. ish on Sundays. But the episode also will jump on the major distributors on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iTunes, whatever. Whatever you listen to will be there on 7 a.m. on Monday mornings, okay? Want to get that out the way early. This is still part of season 2. This is still part of season 2. So the thing we talked about in the first couple years was finding ourselves, trying to get, just trying to create our own lane, right? We're not trying to follow nobody.
Yeah, we've mellowed out.
That's the safe way to say it. We have mellowed out over this time. So right now, this is season 2, and you see the topic today, deadbeats winning. So this conversation is going to go a few ways because this is one of the conversations that we technically don't fully agree, which is a good thing because normally we have conversation, we both doing the same sheet of paper. So we want to talk about this and go into it, but before we get into that, Seth, how you been, my brother?
Oh man, I've been pretty good actually.
Just pretty good?
You know what? This year, wild as it hasn't been that bad. It's been some ups and downs, but it's been better ups than downs.
I can agree with that a little bit. I had some downs,
Yep.
but I'm up. I mean, when you first came in, you said, "Hey, you in good spirit."
I said that.
You said that. This is not something we made up or nothing. Once again, we throw a topic at each other during the week. Like, hey man, let's talk about this topic, and then that's it. We don't talk in between there to build up the topic. Everything is raw, fresh. It's not barbershop style we're trying to give you. And if you're a man or a female or even a salon, when you go into those places to get your hair done, people are talking about stuff all the time. Conversation go from sports, relationships, whatever, schools, everything. So that's the type of flow we have. That's why I say we don't do homework or research or try to prep. We do a little research on certain topics.
Yeah, we want to know what we're talking about, but we're not pulling out charts and whiteboards.
No, we're not doing that. But this is the actual barbershop style podcast that we're talking about. So let's get into this topic. Deadbeats and winning. So here's what I have learned over the last 41 years. And yes, I am 41.
Oh my God, he's so old.
Well, you over time, you learn, you experience things. And I've learned and seen that, you know what? As a married guy, and Seth was married at one point too. So I'm married. Seth was married.
I got over it. I graduated.
He graduated.
TMI. I graduated.
So now we both looking back and just thinking like, and I think we both kind of hold ourselves to a certain level. And when I say a certain level, I think we consider ourselves the AKA good dudes, right? Meaning, let me give you an example. I'm not saying we're the best dudes. I'm saying good dudes means that we got married, we had kids, and we provide for our kids and our family. Just the basics.
Facts.
Just the basics. I'm not going any deeper than that. It's just the basic. I don't have kids out of wedlock. Seth the Dark Child, he don't have kids out of wedlock or kids running around anywhere else that he may know of.
That I know of. That I know of.
That he know of, right?
And on the Bible.
That he know of. So if you don't know, if everyone watching this video and be like, hold on, he looks like my daddy. He didn't know. Okay, he didn't know.
Like a lot of guys. We all look alike.
So what we're saying is that for our knowledge, the kids we have with our wives is what we have. That's it. So when I say good dudes, we kind of went by the book.
Yep.
In this fairy tale world, right?
You know what? Full disclosure, I did slip up. I have had infidelity. I am divorced because of that. I'm not an angel, but I was not the biggest 304 in the neighborhood or nothing. But I slipped up and I got caught slipping.
304. Isn't it like 504 or 304 for the men?
I don't know what it is for. Listen, I don't know what it is for the men because we ain't even gonna talk about how the fact did I really do it because the bills were still paid, the rent, the cell phone. All I did was spread my seed a little bit, and it was nothing that cost my home. Whatever. Moving on. Not today.
Right. So we're not right. So what I'm saying, we're not angels. Not
angels.
Not angels. Nope. We figure we consider ourselves good dudes, right? Mm-hmm. So now when you think of the opposite of what the good dude is, the bad dude. And the bad dudes who we're referring to is the dudes who have multiple kids by multiple women, don't take care of their kids. Some dudes don't be on child support. Some of these dudes live their best life.
They do.
And as a married guy from the outside looking in, it's like, dang. I'm not saying I want to be a bum dad and don't do what I need to do. It's the fact that, like, these guys don't have to deal with the daily stress as a regular working guy who was married, who's taking care of his kids. Meaning that there's some women that I have spoken to where they're struggling as a woman, right? They're not married, single woman, they're struggling, right? And I mean, like, just having a hard time raising kids by yourself, right? And they know where their kid's father's at, they know where he stay, they know where he live, they know what he's doing, whatever the case may be, right? And he always falls short. He'll make promises that, I'll pick him up, or I'll buy him this, and he don't do it, right? He always got a bunch of excuses, right? And come to find out, these are the same dudes. So I'm using all, because we're not speaking all, are non-child support. Mind blowing right there. Like, what? Why is not child support? Oh, I don't want to put him in the system. I don't want to do that to him. It's like, I mean, I get it. I said, listen, as a guy, I feel that no man should be put on child support. But at the same time, if you're not handling your business and you have kids, once again, I see his face. It's gonna be back and forth. Yeah. Then if he's a dude who should be handling his business, he definitely need to handle his business. Now we're not getting into the fact that he didn't want the child and she married it. Like that's a whole nother rabbit hole.
That's a whole. I want to.
I knew you was going with that.
Nothing much. I just want to add a little seasoning. When you said you don't feel that no man should be on child support, I disagree.
Okay.
If you should be able to work out a reasonable, because if you're a real father, listen, I don't think any man, and I don't care who says it or how many arguments we have, if you were not together longer than you were pregnant, you don't deserve child support. Not one bit. You need, if you weren't together longer than you were pregnant, and it takes, 9-10 months?
9 months. Maybe 10.
Or shorter. If your relationship was shorter than your pregnancy, you do not deserve child support. Ooh. Period. I will stand on the mountaintop and preach that.
That's a good one.
That's how I feel.
That's a good one too, because that falls in the category of the one night stands and the you slipped up.
Because if you get pregnant from a one night stand and you had the option of termination of it, you chose to have it. You chose. That's all I'm gonna say. We can move on, but not everyone deserves it. But some people should not be on it. One night stands don't deserve to be on child support.
Ooh, this is gonna open the Pandora's box for whoever's listening. And listen, if you're listening, leave a comment, emails, let us know your thoughts. We'd love to chop this up with you. Get it, chop it up, chop team. No pun intended there. So, I agree with he's saying as well. And yes, there's some dudes who should be on it, some dudes who should not. The reason why I say this is because I know a lot of good dudes that's on child support, and they can't see their daughters, their sons, their mother because he don't want to be with that particular woman. She's making the situation harder than it needs to be, right? And what's like Seth said, it's a shame that two adults who consensually have sex, consensually create this child together, right? And we talking about the good dudes. We talking about the good dudes right now. We ain't talking about the bad dudes. So meaning that these people are in a relationship for a long period of time, X, Y, and Z. The fact that now, as things may fizzle out between the two adults, it's like one feels, what's the word I want to say? Entitled. Good word. Entitled that well, I should get the kids. And once again, I know it's the legal system because that's how it works out. That's how it's set up. But it just blows my mind. Like, I didn't need the government when I married you. I didn't need the government when we decided to have kids and I got you pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's funny that as most men, we want a threesome, but we gonna get one. But as soon as it get bad, you want to bring a third person into a relationship to dictate and move everything around. Let that marinate for a second. And that third person is the government. That's what I'm talking about, the threesome. Because he wasn't there when I first met you, during dating time, married, all that stuff. But all of a sudden now when things fizzle out, now there's a third person in trying to dictate how you navigate and see your kids. And if the guy has been no problems or is abusing his kids, neglecting it like that, I don't see why there shouldn't be just by default 50-50 out of the gate, straight out the gate. No reason.
Mm-hmm.
Because yes,
we can talk about that.
Because yes, it took blood for us to make the child. Yes, the woman carried the child for the 8 months. But the guys, we've been carrying these seeds our whole lives. You know what I mean? I mean, listen, we come together and we create life together, right? But I think even when the relationship falls short, we should be able separately to still maintain our relationship for our kids going forward without making it personal and also bringing the third person in, aka the government. So when I say deadbeats when winning, listen, deadbeats.
We have to discuss that.
Deadbeats. I know deadbeats out there that
definition.
They don't have stress for a rent or mortgage, meaning that these same guys are constantly bouncing around to different women's house.
Mm-hmm.
They're definitely constantly having sex with different women all the time. Some bad, some uglies, whatever, but still, it's the same dudes over and over getting the same women pregnant.
Give me 1 second.
No, you're good. You're good.
Get up.
Oh, okay. So, but yes, there's constantly, like as I stated, there's constantly, you will see that there's dudes that are with the same, there's women with the same dudes with multiple kids. And those guys, they don't have the same struggle as me being married and stepdaughter being married. They don't have the stressful, the responsibility versus what they're doing, right? That's what I mean by the deadbeat dads. And you look at it, they traveling, they vacationing. Now, granted, they ain't got money, right? Because they ain't got money to give their kids. But somehow they learn, as a man, we know how to hustle. Legitly know how to hustle. So guys will find ways to take trips to Miami, Florida, Miami, same place, to Vegas, all over. Now they're not on the same level as passport bros because they can't afford it because some dudes got felonies and stuff. They can't get a passport if they wanted to. But the point I'm trying to make is, and Seth's going to chime in a second here, is that it's funny because Joe Budden had a little show. He said, listen, man, I'm kind of jealous of when everybody's deadbeat dads. I shouldn't be jealous, but just like, you guys don't care. They living their best life. Oh, the kids need this. I don't care. Where the hell's at? You understand what I'm saying? And I sat back and listened to him like,
he had a point, huh?
He kind of got a point. I'm like, these guys out here don't take care of their kids. They kind of winning. But the dudes who have to take care of their kids, like me and Seth, we have to take care of our kids. But go ahead, Seth.
Well,
I said a lot there, so I need to unpack some stuff there, which is cool.
Well, I mean, I'm not really, because once again, it's all anecdotal. It's what you see. Because I don't know the circle of dudes that Joe Budden might run with, right? So the dudes that he might run with might actually be doing that. But every dude that I hung out, every dude that I know that got married, like all the people who are my friends,
right?
We all got married in our 20s, right? Somewhere in our 20s or early 30s, we all got married. We all started families. Everybody who I consider my friend is divorced or has gotten divorced. You know what I'm saying? And every one of us was put on child support. Every single. When I tell you, at 25 years old, while I was taking college classes, I was working in a warehouse. Maybe 20 or 30 of those guys that I hung out with in the warehouse, I consider friends, you know? And I promise you, when they say black men don't get married and all of us were married. Almost all of us were married. All of us had kids. And right now, at 40 years old, when I run into them in the street or see them, all of us divorced and all of us on child support or have paid child support. By the way, it's almost freaking funny that if you're talking to a dude over 40 for more than 30 minutes and you reminiscing about your life, child support get thrown on the table. You don't have to bring it up. It's coming into the conversation. But anyway, I don't know. My father was a deadbeat. My father had somewhere between 9 and 15 kids. I've met 9 personally. I hear rumors of others.
You said 9 to 15.
9 and 15. I know 9.
So do you think?
Well, 10 because counting myself, I guess.
So you think by having 9 to 15 kids, right? Right. And like I said, you didn't really have them growing up when you was young, right? Or you didn't have him, 1, and 2, you didn't have the financial support from him either, right?
No financial support whatsoever.
Okay.
He was a deadbeat.
Right, but the point I'm trying to make is that he had 19 kids. So I mean, he was having a lot of fun.
Well, no, and here's the thing. My own father died at 53 years old.
Okay.
From multiple strokes. This dude was stressed. So, not having kids isn't not being a deadbeat. You really have to be a ASSHOLES to not feel responsible for your kids. You understand what I'm saying?
Oh, I do.
He might not have paid, but full
disclosure. It's karma.
No, it's not. It's not fully karma. Hold on.
You don't think so?
My daddy wasn't an angel. God rest him, he wasn't an angel.
Whoa.
But I've had adult conversations with my own mother.
Okay.
And from some of the things she told me, I'd have left her too. My mom was not an angel. My dad had as much chance of staying and working through a lifetime with my mom as I had of staying and working through a lifetime with the rabid dog. Yeah. Hard to work it out with a rabid dog. That rabid dog is vicious. It's mean. You can't just throw it a piece of meat in it and let it be happy. That rabid dog is going to be violent.
No comment. I'm gonna let that one go. Hey.
I mean, because it sounds like I'm joking.
But listen, but I understand what you're saying though. No, I completely understand what you're saying. Listen, what you said earlier, that's my experience. Well, I feel the same way as you feel. The circle of guys that I mess with take care of their kids. The circle of guys that I know, right? Mm-hmm. So this is not the not content, but the statistics or number of stuff that I'm getting from. It's not from men. I'm getting this information from the women.
Okay.
See, the women are telling me they got these guys in their lives that don't do XYZ for their kids. So it's not the men I'm running with. It's the women that I come across. And as being a guy especially in Atlanta, you run across a lot of women. Point blank period. You're going to have conversation. Hell, if you work in a call center 8 hours a week, 5 days a week, you're going to have conversation with people. You're going to see beautiful women. And you're going to find out they got kids. And then y'all start talking about yourselves and talk about kids. And then and
then you're going to do stuff in the parking lot.
And then you're going to find out that they got kids, not married, and like multiple men. Like, what was going on? You know what I'm saying? And not really a judgment, but the thing I'm getting at is that they're the ones telling me about, oh yeah, well his dad, he don't do this, or he does this, his dad here, he's great, and XYZ, but I'm like, so is he on child support? Oh no, I ain't want to do that to him. Like, but you tell me you're struggling XYZ, and then you telling me that you see him driving a new car, he got new Jordans, all these things. Apparently he's doing good with his new girl that you're pretty mad about, but you're not going to do nothing that's going to help your kid. Not really just for you, but the kid.
Well, hold on. I want to interject right there.
Go ahead.
Anecdotal evidence once again. So
you're telling me a lot of women that you and me, you don't know a lot of women that have...
No, the women that I do know.
Okay.
The women, and off the top of my head, I'm thinking about 2, maybe 3.
2 or 3?
At least 3 women I know who have kids who didn't put their baby's fathers on child support.
Okay.
The reason they didn't, okay, real full disclosure, I had this conversation with the same set of people over years. My current RP knowledge, I finally was able to ask the questions that got the answers I wanted. It's about control. Okay?
Facts.
So, control. The reason that they didn't put their baby's fathers on child support, the real, true reason, is because they didn't want him to have access to the kids. This is only if she hates you and it's a boy, she will not put you on child support so that she can hurt your feelings. You won't be able to raise your son. If it's a girl, she don't want to have your input in what she dumps into that girl's head.
I mean, either way you look at it,
It's control.
It's always control, regardless of on child support or non-child support. It's control, and of course, majority of the time, the control was given to them from the government.
No. Some of us are foolish.
Some are foolish, but
No.
when you think about it, is the hassle really worth it? The fight for it. I mean, we always want to fight for our kids and fight for certain things, but how the legal system is already set up, you got to pay your legal fees, and then you're told you got to pay for her legal fees, and then you might come up with a settlement. You don't like this settlement. Like if we couldn't agree prior to getting divorced, right? We couldn't come to agreements prior to getting divorce. What make you think that my settlement or what I'm asking you to do, you're gonna agree to that? Because we wouldn't been here divorcing if we couldn't agree on basic stuff, right? Think about that for a minute. So they're gonna keep saying, "Well, I want this, I want that." Like, and it's like most guys I know who've been through that process is like, you know what? I ain't got it. I'm just gonna throw my hands up. Like I'm done with it. I'm stressed. I'll let the dust fall and lands, and I'll work it out from there.
Well, okay. So let me reference the lead attorney.
Love him.
Shout out to TLA. If you ever listen to it, love your content. The lead attorney pointed out some things as a 20-year legal attorney in Atlanta that when it comes to child support, he said on one of his streams specifically, he can't recommend that a father even fight for it unless you have the money to spend. 85+% of the time, the mother will get custody of that child. You almost have to prove that she is a convicted felon, doing drugs with the OnlyFans account while juggling guns.
Like it has to be,
and you got to catch it on all of that on camera on the same day, and you still need 17 affidavits saying that really happened. And if you don't have the money to fight for it, and we're talking not 1 or 2 or 10 court days. You'll be in court multiple times a year for multiple years. And if you slip up even once, they will come back and take the kids from you and give them back to her. That's the legal system in Georgia.
and I think I saw the episode. He said, listen, it doesn't make sense. Like Seth the Darkchild just said, unless you have concrete evidence to show that the mother or the wife or whoever is bad for the kids, you're going to waste time. He said he had one guy who said, no, I won't fight for my kids. And this man emptied out his 401k. And the reason why he couldn't keep going with the case, this dude, he said this guy spent and got loans, 401k, he probably spent over $200,000. $200,000.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why he stopped fighting, because he ran out of money.
Mm-hmm. And the moment he ran out of money, the court case was over. And you went back to 2 weekends a month or every other weekend, and 2 weeks out the summer if you're lucky.
But also factor in that on top of spending the $200,000 that he was fighting the case for, he loses that. He still got to pay for her legal fees, and he still got to pay child support and everything else between there. So you damn near almost walking out of $500,000 of debt.
Yep.
Because you want to fight the legal system that's not built for a man. This ain't got nothing to do with black man or white man. This is men, period. Because I seen another judge was told by a guy like, I'm a judge too. They didn't care. Drag them through this. Yeah.
Because the system The system is a money-making endeavor. In this country, the child support system makes upwards of $50 billion a year.
How much again a year?
$50 billion. Now, once again, this is not the payout from the mother to the father.
No.
So don't think that this is me giving you. That's not the money.
No.
The child support system, aka the judges, the courthouse, the county, the state, whatever, they make $50 billion a year. You pay the salaries of the judges. You pay the salaries of the bailiffs. You pay the salaries of the attorneys in that system, and all of them make good money.
So with that being
And they're
said,
not changing it.
exactly. See, I hope you listen to what you're saying. They're not going to change it because they're making money for that.
Mm-hmm.
So why would they start being in favor of guys? Because that case, if they go back to the woman, they're not going to get their money.
Nope. Oh, hey, you know what? I think you want to go ahead and play the video right quick.
This is the clip. The clip that I sent you.
Hmm? Well,
You know what? I can't give you 1 second.
yeah. The reason I say this because my personal part as far as the deadbeat dads, it's another silent part we tend to not say out loud. What about the deadbeat moms? How come Joe Biden was so happy and smiling about deadbeat dad? He ain't say nothing about these mothers. The few women that actually have to pay child support, they don't do it. It's way more deadbeat mothers than deadbeat fathers.
So are you referring to the clip where the guy said it would be more deadbeat mothers if there was no legal system? Is that the one you're talking about?
No,
or the one at the video I sent you?
No, I'm talking about just come here. Okay, once again, we're always going to be coming back to we need to define deadbeat parent, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I consider a deadbeat mom who has a kid with her who look like their hair hasn't been done, snotty nose, loud and crying and obnoxious, acting a fool in public.
But
she got on red bottoms. Her nails are on fleek. Her lashes are done. And her hair look like she just got it. She got a $300-400 weave in her head. But that child looks abandoned.
Okay, I have seen that.
Yeah.
Seen and heard women who have kids by other guys will date a new guy, and she'll go and buy the new guy new Jordans and XYZ while their kids still run around wearing Payless.
Exactly.
Now I get it. To be clear, because we're fathers when we have kids. I have I have an 11-year-old and a 9-year-old. Well, she was 11 this year. The point I'm trying to make is that yes, kids will tear through some shoes, they'll grow through it, but at the end of the day, my kids won't have Payless. They may not have Jordans. They might have just basic Nikes.
Well,
You know what I'm saying? Like it won't be that far of a gap. Like I'm not gonna spend one. They're gonna grow out the shoe probably within a couple of days. Number one. But number two, I'm not gonna spend $80 for a pair of shoes for them. They're gonna tear up anyway because kids don't understand the concept of take care of stuff. But the point I'm trying to make is that they're not gonna walk around with $5 shoes. I'm walking around with $200 Jordans on. It don't make any sense.
Well, I don't. Once again, and this is just personal thought.
Right.
Because my kids have always worn better shoes than me. Once again, I'm a grown man, and I'm not fashion conscious.
Are you saying as
So
little kids or as they got older?
well, I'm just talking about any kids, but little kids specifically.
Uh-huh.
But like my son take KDs and Jordans because I pay a lot of child support. he take KDs and Jordans for granted, right? Whereas when I'll buy myself Fila and Reebok. Who need a $200 pair of sneakers? But that's what his mom will buy. But I pay a lot. I pay because I'm not a deadbeat. I pay that. But the point being is this, right? Let's take it from individuals that I've seen in the street.
Okay.
A deadbeat mom. The average black boy in America reads on a 4th grade level. This is statistically provable, right?
Yes.
4th grade. That's a deadbeat mom. You ain't doing your job as a mom. Deadbeat, neglectful, call it what you want. But have you invested in your kid? So, I could be considered personally, I could be considered a deadbeat because I haven't invested a lot of time in my kids. Why? Because my kids live in a whole nother state.
Is that by your choice? Is that what you wanted?
I did not. No, still.
I know. I'm just proving the
Yes,
point.
no. But from a deadbeat standpoint, from a time perspective, I could be considered a deadbeat. From a dollar economic perspective, nah, my kids are well taken care of. Right?
Right.
Now, so economically, my kids or most fathers I know pay their child support. One of my friends is still paying his kids because his kids went to college. There was no documentation or paperwork that said he had to do it. He's still taking care of these kids. He just gave his daughter a car. He bought him a new Tesla. He was like, I got a Toyota Avalon. I was gonna trade it in, but I decided to give it to my daughter. He didn't have to. There was no paperwork for him to do it. He gave it to his daughter. But she said, "Daddy, how am I gonna pay the car insurance on this car?" He didn't blink. He was like, "What car insurance? Don't worry about it." And he meant it. Is that a deadbeat father? But he still lives in another state. He drove the car here and flew back home so his daughter could have a car. She's 22. She ain't never wanted for nothing. She's always had everything. But from a time standpoint, he wasn't there. But from an economic standpoint, we're taking care of our kids. Okay. So when they start talking about these deadbeat dads, like Joe Budden, if a deadbeat dad could be up on a boat somewhere having a good time, are you really a deadbeat, or did you economically do what the courts told you to do to take care of your kids?
I get what you're saying. Meaning that I love the clarity on that. See, this is why I like this conversation. I'm glad that this topic we don't fully agree or whatever. I love that. So what he's pretty much saying, ladies and gentlemen, is this. If a guy who is on child support, right? Let's use Seth the Darkchild. He's on child support, right? As an example. He paid X amount of dollars, right? And that's all he's required to do. And he does that, right? But then he might buy a new car, he might go on vacation, he might travel, X, Y, Z. But some people might see him as a deadbeat. Well, technically, no, he's not a deadbeat because he did what he was obligated to do. And he have to do nothing else from there. Per the court legal system. You told me I got to pay X amount of dollars, and I didn't like it. But guess what? I'm sorry, he didn't like it, but I'm sure he still did it because he had to, or there'd be other consequences to it.
Exactly.
But once he did that, now he's like, okay, my feet, hands up and feet, I'm good. You can't shame me. So of not doing anything additional out there, I can't. I won't be at fault if the kids grew up to be a certain way because one, wasn't my choice.
You know, let me add another personal note.
Yeah.
Once again, this is my life. But when I first got divorced and I was handed down that number for child support, it was backbreaker, bruh. It was a backbreaker.
And when you say backbreaker, I mean I understand what you mean, but for the listeners. Okay. Maybe there's some women listen to the call right now or the show later on. They won't understand. What do you mean by backbreaker? Okay, what's so backbreaker about paying for something you was already doing when you was already with the woman, right?
Okay, fair enough. Okay, how about this? We're going to get real dry numbers. I'm going to say it fast. I'm going to use $100,000 because everybody can. It's a round number we can work with, right? Okay. So this is reality. When you make $100,000, you don't take home $100,000.
That's correct.
You take home, if you're lucky, after your 401k, your taxes, your health, medical insurance, you might take home 60.
Yeah, tuition reimbursement, all that.
If you're lucky,
you
make 100, you might take home 60.
Maybe 70. I'll say 70.
Okay, it doesn't matter because when you get child support, especially myself with 2 kids, they take 27% off the top. They don't of gross, right?
Hold on, so stop there for a second. I always had a math calculator on the screen here, but we start with 100,000. Now we have 62 after health benefits XYZ. Then you're taking, you said 27,000.
27%.
27% off that.
So I'm just using 100,000.
I know.
I wasn't making 100,000 at the time.
I know, but I mean, we all sell our paychecks. We know what we could make a year, but we know we're not getting that after tax and deductions. Right?
You know what? Let me back that down.
Okay,
not 27, 24%.
Okay, 24%. So the 24% is coming off the 62 or 72, whatever you want to take it. No? Well, go ahead.
Coming off the 100. They don't care about taxes. They don't ask you those questions.
Thank you.
They want gross.
Hold on. Let me go back then. So once again, we start at $100,000.
Mm-hmm.
This is a fair number. $100,000. Then we take out our taxes. We take out our 401ks, our health spending account.
You're still doing it wrong.
Oh, I know.
Okay.
So, but still, that comes out, right? But on top, and additional to that, the 24% is not coming off what I get afterwards. It comes off what I scheduled to make. So the $100,000 that I'm told I'm going to make per year, either I only get 62 or 70. I'm being taxed on the $100,000 amount.
Yep, the government wants their tax money.
So when the child support numbers go in, they're based on what you gross, not what you net.
Yes.
So I hope you guys are paying attention. If you know the difference between gross and net, I'm not telling you. If you don't know, look it up. Google's your friend. Ask Google. Okay, Google. Doop. I'm pretty sure some of your phones are beat. But anyway, what the point I'm trying to make is that it's come off the top number, which is $100,000. So if I'm already walking away with $62,000 per year, but I'm being taxed on 20% on $100,000, I'm probably making what, maybe 50 now? 60? You know what I mean? Like, but I'm still shown to make $100,000 a year, but I'm only bringing home after taxes, child support. I'm only bringing $50,000 per year.
You missed it.
Oh, I missed it. Go ahead.
Let me finish. You missed it because you keep giving yourself more than you made.
Oh Lord.
Seriously, no lie.
He's a math genius, so
you made 100.
Yes.
Gross. Let's say 20%, because different states got different numbers, but I'm gonna keep it around with 20.
Okay.
Okay, 2 kids, 20% of your income is child support.
Yes.
So you made 100,000. You're gonna pay tax on that 100,000, but so you actually only taking home 80. You still got to pay your 401k, your taxes and everything out of that 80, but they're gonna tax your black butt as if you made a whole 100. So you made $100,000, but your take-home pay, with after taxes and child support and all the other stuff, might actually be in the neighborhood of about 38 a year out of 100. That's what you took home. My first year of child support was an absolute disaster. Panic mode, wondering how the bill, because once again, just because they left didn't mean your mortgage changed. Your light bill, your cell phone bill, your car note, car insurance, none of that changed. But I can tell you there's a
silver lining. Yeah.
Is that time changes things. Okay, so let's say you have a job and you're not salaried. Let's say you get a merit increase every year. The next year you'll make 4% increase. Next year 4%.
Mm-hmm.
After about 4 or 5 years, you've made up the difference. But then
while still paying it.
While still paying, you've made up the difference. But that still means that first year, 12 months, 24 months, 36 months, life is not a nice place to be.
No, because you're probably in the rears, or you're stretched thin. But go ahead.
You're stretched very thin. You're not taking no vacations. You're not doing nothing. You work. You probably working 2 jobs because you went out and got yourself a part-time job or a side hustle because child support has put foot so far up your butt. Now this is the part where Joe Biden, deadbeat dads are doing this. No, you know what happened? About 5 years into my child support, after getting 4% raises for 5 years, my take-home pay is now actually back to $62,000 a year. Okay. I'm still my actual salary might be $125, but my actual take-home is back to $62. But that $62 I can spend on myself. So I'm back to investing. I'm back to saving money. I paid down some of my bills because living like a house slave for a couple of years, you gonna pay your car note off as soon as you can.
Oh yeah.
Your cell phone bill. Oh, you stripped all the unnecessaries out your life.
Yes.
So 3-4 years into it, you're back to normal. 5 years, 6 years into it, you living large. And then, if you're like me, in July, your child support ends. I'm gonna get it. It's like getting a huge raise. I won't be a deadbeat at that point, but I'm just saying. And when he was like, they doing this and they're doing that, bro, you don't ask them what they did the first 2 years.
So in defense of Mr. Joe Buttons, what he was saying, he's not referring to the guys like you or anyone else who pay their dues, right? We're talking about the dudes who are not paying their dues. Now, granted, you may not know these dudes, but they're out there.
They are, but he can't possibly know that many. Joe Budden's a millionaire.
See, once again, it's not that he knows them. See, I think you fail to realize he don't know all these guys.
So he
know all these women.
So he pandered.
He
pandered. He's a pander.
I won't say he pandered, but once you're in the limelight of entertainment, you always gonna have women chasing you, regardless. So let's be clear, he's not married, so therefore he's free to do whatever he wants to do. Let's be clear. So I'm pandering. So no, I'm talking about meeting women, multiple women. Okay, we're gonna call it pandering. But the point I'm trying to make is that you ain't let that go. That's fine. But the point I'm trying to make is that he's pandering, but also he know all these women that he keep running across. Because mind you, when a woman meets a guy who's kind of well off, right? They gonna give him their sob story. Oh, it just
he can pander.
And these kids, and because they think he's a come up, they think he's gonna save them.
Pander.
Captain Saver.
Pander.
Yes, all that. So, with that being said, it's not that, because, I mean, I say this. Mm-hmm. I don't run with, not that I run with, I don't talk or associate with guys who don't take care of their kids. Just that simple. At all. I don't because, mind you, the conversation that we're going to have, they're going to feel uncomfortable around me because my conversation is going to be, oh, yeah, this week I'm doing I'm my son's basketball coach. Mm-hmm. This week I have it because it was Easter. So, we had a break this week, but next Saturday, back to basketball, which is cool. But I work Monday through Friday, and then Saturday and Sunday, my only 2 days of resting. Well, Saturday no rest because sometimes we gotta be there at 9:40. We gotta be up super early, right? Or sometimes it's late in the day. Well, shoot, your whole day's gone. By the time you get back, it's 2:00. You eat some food, chill. You ready to go to sleep, whatever, right? I mean, I am old, so I can't hang like I used to. So I'd be like, I ate some food, like, oh, I'm tired. Yeah. But the point that I'm trying to make is that there's dudes out there who don't got this responsibility. But also, too, the difference what Seth just went over his situation, 17 years, this July, he'll be off the hook, right? I'm happy for him. Salute to him, right? The fact that he had to be put in that situation is the one thing that those deadbeat dads don't have to deal with. Them guys don't have to. That's the only difference is that there's guys like you who are in the legal system who got to pay XYZ, who have been paying XYZ, versus the guy who has kids out there who has never been in the system at all, and they still out there making kids. For example, seththedarkchild, you have 2 kids, and you're in the system. Once you start getting or being told you to give a certain amount of money each check, whatever, XYZ, was there in your future after that you wanted more kids?
Actually, I want kids now. I would love to have more kids. Well, not with no American chick.
Let's be clear now. So you want more kids, or do you want to get married? Like, what's that?
No.
So you're okay with having more kids?
You know what? I am okay with having more kids in a certain situation.
Well, stop right there.
No. I want to say, in a real, true LTR situationship.
It's an long-term relationship.
But I am not willing to sign a marriage license.
Thanks for saying that right there, because it has stipulations, meaning that the old young seththedarkchild, he didn't have that same thought process when he first got into a long-term relationship.
No, I didn't.
He was like, I'm just going to jump in and we're going to go. But now, based on what he had been through, he's like, oh, I'm not doing this again. Well, if I do it again, I have stipulations. And if she can't agree to them, then guess what? We ain't going to work.
Yeah, we call those standards.
So that's what I'm saying. So you didn't answer the question how I wanted to, but you did answer the question, right? And what I was thinking, like, after you had put on child support, you wouldn't think about, oh yeah, I'm gonna get some more kids. It's like, hell no, I want no more kids ever again.
Oh, bro, I was scared. It was like, bro, staring down the barrel of a gun
But also too,
changes you.
right? But to see, that's what I'm saying. How the deadbeat guys are winning. Reading I said because you had to go 12 years, 15 years. How many years you been on child support?
I was on six and a half.
Okay, 6.5. Whew, lucky you, 6.5. Good.
I did 14 in the pen. 14 years, 6.5 on child support.
Right. So the point I'm trying to make is that yes, he did what he was supposed to do, which he's probably doing prior to that, but now he's being told what to do. But you understand the stress level that he has always had, meaning that in that time frame, he had to make sure that one, he maintains his job at all times.
At all times.
At all times. Meaning that whatever numbers were provided at the time, that's what they're basing it off, right? So let's say he'd been to the company for maybe 15 years at the time.
Ain't that old.
I know, right?
Little gray.
So 15 years he's at the company at a certain time frame, right?
Mm-hmm.
And at that time frame, divorce happened. So at 15 years at that company, that's the payday he's getting at, right? Companies go through layoffs and changes all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning that if a 15 years being in that company and they decide they won't let him go, where he's going to go right away to get the same pay that he has worked at for 15 years.
Yeah.
Everyone can't be a VP out the gate swinging, right? Everybody doesn't. It's called what it is. There's everyone can have 3-4 degrees, because then if you had that, you got college debt, and we don't got college debt around here.
No, we don't do that.
We don't do that around here. You know what I'm saying?
You pay. Message. Pay off your loans. If you take out a loan, pay it off.
And get a degree is going to mean something. But the point I'm trying to make is this: he had to also, on top of paying child support, make sure that in that time frame that he maintained his job. So he had to deal with certain things that he probably didn't want to deal with. He had to deal with certain conversations that he didn't want to deal with. He had to swallow his pride. And as a man, not just black or white, just a man, period. There's certain things you ain't going to...
In corporate America, you will be...
You'll be challenged.
You will be part of some compromising situations.
Facts.
You will not be able to maintain your straight up blackness to the level you want to.
And just to give you an example of this, like everyone knows what the Karen situation is in the street. Well, those same Karens also happen in corporate America too.
Oh yes. Oh my God.
But you just can't do nothing. You just got to bite your tongue, and especially when you're in a situation where you're obligated to do something for a certain amount of time frame. But once again, I know deadbeat dads that don't quit jobs before they have to get. Listen, there's dudes out there who beat the system. Not that I know him, but I know him through the women talking. But dudes, when a woman he finally got a job, and anybody's going to take him, he will actually quit that job. Oh, go ahead.
Once again, I have known these. Once again, so I'm a kid of the projects. My own dad did it.
What did he do?
My dad, the moment child support caught up to him with a job, he was gone. He quits.
See, I didn't know that.
Eventually,
and I wasn't using him of my case story. I know this. I don't know this guy, but I hear the story because of women XYZ. People talk all the time.
See, no, this is why I'm back. I'm gonna be on Joe because what he's talking about. Anyway, hold on, let me finish. So my own dad, anecdotal evidence. It's in my dad. My dad, as soon as child support caught up to him with a job, he quit. The last 25 years of his life before he passed away, he just opened up a landscaping business, right? And he got paid cash. So my dad got paid under the table. He couldn't get a W-2. He still had to put a roof over his head. So my dad did some back-breaking labor to keep roof over his head. He raised my little brother, you know. He did what he had to do. I'm not saying it's right. I'm saying it happened. My point is, the guys that do those kind of things, see, when you hear Joe Budden say it, Joe Budden been famous for how long? He's been Joe Budden for how long? He don't run in those circles. Dude, you just attacking me and you don't even know at that point. That's my problem, because the dudes that do what my father had to do would only be in Joe Budden's yard. They would never be in his household at no barbecue or at no get together he was having. They'd be in the yard cutting the doggone grass. Then and it's like when Kevin Samuels, you know, praised R.I.P. to the Godfather, when he said, "You're not gonna attack these blue collar men, not on my watch." Well, that's what Joe did, because The dudes that Joe Budden hang with, ain't no way. Well, I'm gonna use it as a story, but who's that Migos rapper that got killed?
Mm-hmm.
Because
Takeoff
got killed because he was hanging with folks that wasn't in his income bracket. Okay, Joe, you're not down. You weren't down there in the streets with those guys. So what guys were you talking about, Joe? But you could just throw that out and you just straight up pander and peed on blue collar men. You don't know them dudes, bruh. You don't know those dudes. You heard about them dudes 20 years ago before you first got put on. You don't even know where they at right now. I'm sorry.
So it sounds like you personally have a problem with Mr. Joe Budden.
I don't know this dude. I'm just saying. But like
because
Godfather said,
but you gotta understand the message got to come from somewhere. Regardless of who's saying it, there's still somewhere in the underlying. There's some truth behind what he's saying.
And there might be, but he doesn't know it. Once again, he wasn't quoting stats and statistics.
Okay, I got what you're saying now.
As the Godfather said, you will not attack blue collar men on my watch. I can't let you slide with that. I'm not attacking you as a person, but you don't know those dudes you're talking about.
Right.
You don't run in those circles. And if you do know a dude at your level who doing it, shouldn't you call them on that? Why are you laughing and joking, making ladder? Why you didn't call them on being deadbeats? Because at your income level, there shouldn't be any deadbeat fathers at your income level.
Well, they're gonna be there, but they shouldn't be. They shouldn't be mingling and dealing with you.
It shouldn't be enough for you to sit around laughing about on the interview.
No, as I stated, it'll be uncomfortable for them to be around me because I got kids running around all day. You know what I mean?
Even
I
at
do
my
kid
income
stuff.
level,
It's
it
like
would be uncomfortable to have them dudes around me at my income level.
yeah, like you got kids and you don't do nothing with them, or like what's going on with that?
And I know you was joking, but once again, you was pandering. You said.
I mean, there wasn't a joke behind it though. You know, let's be clear, there was some joke behind it, but still some truth about it because I know family members that's going through the ringer and they want to do everything possible to be in their kid's life, and just the person they was with just evil, mad at the situation, and made it more difficult what it needed to be.
I've known dudes personally that were who you would have considered deadbeats that literally drunk themselves to death. And not because they were alcoholics. They died of depression. Their life was wrecked.
Why is a life wrecked?
Because taking care of your kids is a responsibility, and the average man takes care of his responsibilities. When you find it difficult to handle your responsibilities, it stresses you out.
And wow. So what made it difficult and stressful for certain people to do that?
What do you mean? What do you mean? Explain.
So like the one you just said who drunk himself to death, right? And he wasn't a drunk. He wasn't a normal person to drink. But what was causing for him to be that person for his sons or his kids?
Baby mama drama mostly. The system. But once again, bruh, okay.
No, I wasn't just saying though, but once again, those are not the same. See, I never heard of a deadbeat dad going through that type of stress and drama. That's the only thing. That's the whole point I'm trying to pull out of this conversation.
I know people who have never committed a crime that have done some jail time, real jail time, just on child support because they couldn't pay it. Like, I'll give you an example for myself, right? This is me hypothetical. Okay. Let's say I had to pay $1,500 a month child support.
Yes.
And I lost my job.
Oh.
How many months? At one point, that first month I'm gonna owe 15. Next month I'm gonna owe 3. Month after that 45. Month after that 6. At one point or another, I'll never be able to pay that. But men don't just shrug off debt. Hold on. This allergies is killing me. Men don't just shrug off debt. If I owe something, it stresses me till I square it up. If I owed you some money, I don't go to sleep at night easy on my conscience thinking he'll be all right. No, I'm straightening you out, bro, because that's my responsibility as a man. Okay, I'm gonna give you a story and you tie this together.
Okay.
Remember a couple months ago we had this conversation about black men not donating sperm.
Yes.
Why would Why would somebody who wants to be a deadbeat dad, why wouldn't they be donating sperm?
Oh, in this day and age now, because I'm donating, I could possibly still be on the hook for those kids. Is that the reason why? What?
No, and not in my opinion.
Not your opinion. Okay.
They don't donate sperm because most men don't want to be deadbeats. If I make a baby, I kind of want to take care of my kids.
Oh, okay. Okay. On that part, I understand.
I mean,
that part there.
think about, do the math on that. Most black men don't donate sperm to the sperm bank, brother. We're not out there going to the sperm bank, going into the cup, getting $50, $100 a nut, and it's crackheads out there.
Yeah.
And they not donating.
And that was, you're right. That was never. I donated blood, but as far as donating sperm, I'm like, no, because if I have kids, I want to know who my kids are, and I want to take care of them.
And it's obvious.
And even now,
the average black man is not doing that.
Right. And even now, I had this conversation with my wife. I was saying, like, listen, the kids I have now is all what I have now. But if there was a chance out there, I had another child out there, and the woman kept the kid away from me for, 15, 16 years now, I'll be crushed because my son or daughter that I didn't know of didn't have me around. And I'm a father first, so I would have did everything possible to be in that child's life. Even if in that moment, woman was not together. But the fact that she decided to hide him or hide her from me all these years, I'll be crushed. So it goes like what you're saying. Yeah, I don't donate sperm because I want to raise my own kids.
Exactly. And so, like, say, oh, deadbeats having a good time, deadbeats winning. No. Who that? Bruh, stop it. And I say that with full honesty. It's evidence. 54% of black men don't even have children. We don't even have kids.
No, that's facts. But we still talking about the guys. So yes, 50% don't have kids, but the other percent that is having kids, they're having kids over and over and over again.
And at that point, if you choose I don't feel guilt for women. I used to until I grew up. If you get a divorce and you leave your husband with kids, I don't feel no sympathy. I wish you the best. I hope you okay. But don't come over here asking for nothing, because you chose this and there are consequences for choices. Right? If your baby's father has more than one baby mama, and I mean that one as in you. If he has more than one baby mama, I don't feel no sympathy. God help me if he got 3 or 4 baby mamas. Good luck with that. I wish you the best. If if you had a one night stand, as I said earlier in the day, and you were pregnant longer than you were in a relationship with that person, I have no sympathy. Good luck with that. I wish you the best. I don't wish nothing bad on you. I hope you make it. But I don't think you deserve no help. I'm not. If you fall, of course, we should help you stand back up, as in you actually fell. I walked over there and made sure you not dusted off your knee. But if I'm about to be homeless, that's a choice. You about to be homeless because you chose who will be your baby daddy. It's a whole bunch of men that would have been good. You chose to have a kid. I have a friend that has a baby with a dude that has 10 other kids. I swear to God, this happened. I feel bad for you, but at the same time, I can't show you sympathy. You knew he was a dog when you saw him barking when you went to him. If you saw him barking when you went to him, what you thought a dog was going to do?
It's crazy because the main question I have to ladies like that have kids from the same guy that has kids somewhere else, I'm like, so when y'all was dating and y'all was talking and going through y'all spell, whatever time frame, and you knew he had kids, but how often did you see his kids? Like, because that should be triggers. Like, if you talk to a guy got kids and you never see his kids, that be sure be a red flag.
It should be.
That should be a red flag. Like, wait, where the kids at?
So,
and of course, they don't have. Go ahead.
No,
I was gonna say, like, I'm sure don't have stories talking about, oh, she won't let me see my kids, and that don't stories. But I'm like, but these same dudes have multiple kids. So what about the first mother? Oh, well, her, we fell out. So if every woman he talked to has the problem, more likely it's not the woman, it's the guy. But the thing is, why are you messing with this guy? There's guys out there that have no kids, nothing, but you won't give them a shot, but you want to keep messing with the same pookie that everyone else in the neighborhood messing with.
Exactly. Listen, we keep talking about deadbeats winning. they are win. The only thing winning about a deadbeat is that they keep getting coochie they don't deserve. That's the only thing I see
Message.
winning. Yo, honestly, he got swag.
Well, I mean, yes, yes. The benefit is that yes, they're getting multiple coochie, whatever you want to say it, whatever, right?
That they do not deserve.
That they don't deserve. But then the guys who don't have no kids, that's the conflict that they have to deal with. When they meet a new woman, they're trying to get to know her. They got to deal with, oh, I have a kid by this dude already. And now it's like, but you got to treat me this way. And you got to take him out. You know what I'm saying? Now I got to be penalized for someone else's seed that he didn't take care of his kid, but I have to be on the level. Like, you think about Kevin Samuel, his show. Most of the women on the show were women who wanted a guy who was a 6-figure guy, top 15% guy in the world, and they already had kids with someone else. But the new guy who they wanted to talk to had to be on a higher level as the guy that they gave a baby to, which is the ultimate prize. That's what I mean by the deadbeat guys winning, because when I was dating girls out there who had kids, there's a girl I ain't really dated, but I was talking to her per se, but she had 4 kids already. And she wasn't married. And I'm sure it was 2, whatever. But listen, she wouldn't give me the cookie. I couldn't get the cookie. I had to do X, Y, Z.
You couldn't get 4 baby already spit out cookies?
Exactly. I couldn't get the cookie because I had to take her out to dates, or I had to do that. I'm like, but you have 4 people come out of you, and now you telling me I have to wait? I got to do X, Y, Z? I said, that's what I'm saying about the deadbeats or winning, because they did what they had to do and they bounced and they on to the next one. But now I got to kind of deal with the backlash of you having kids somewhere else and you want me to be the captain saver. No, it doesn't work like that.
You my boy. You couldn't get 4 kid already spit out cookie?
Bruh. No, this was the young.
I hear this story.
Oh,
I'm personally hurt now.
And listen, this was the young, inexperienced twins. Okay.
Hey, she
Back
tried
then,
to run game on
but
me.
she did run game. I'm like, what? But I didn't take her out though. Because when I 1, 2, 3, 4, and Dad's no ring, I said, okay, all right, no problem. Yeah, I'll come pick you up. I never pick her up.
Bruh.
I'm like, really? Are you serious? But that's what I'm saying. I know this because through experience, not through the guys, but through the women I've dated. I've dated a lot of women who already had a kid by someone else.
Bruh.
I'm just saying. And I'm like, where's that dude at? And why is it now child support? You know what I mean? Especially if you know he's well off somewhere. I'm like, how does this make sense? That's what I'm saying. I'm coming from experience because before I got married, I dated a lot of women. And a lot of women already had kids already. A lot. I'm sorry. It's just a fact.
I took it for granted. When I found my wife and she didn't have kids, I was like, you ain't got no kids?
Oh.
I thought there was something wrong with her.
Listen, that was like one of the reasons why I married my wife. Like, you got no kids? And you got a job?
Oh.
Got a car?
Oh. You got your own apartment?
Own apartment?
So you're an adult though.
Oh yeah, I say I can deal with everything else. I'll figure everything else there.
Yeah, I made a mistake on that.
But the point I'm trying to make is that that's why I say when deadbeats are winning. That's what I mean by that. But once again, Seth broke it down really good on at least before we loosely throw this word deadbeat dead out there. We need to get more content. We get more information. Like these guys that are pay their obligation for their child support each month, and they finally made legally hustles to have extra money so they can live comfortable now. Or are we talking about the guys who have multiple kids out there, ain't taking care of their kids? We need to know which one, because I can see how Seth the Darkchild could be looked at as a deadbeat dad because he wasn't around, but it wasn't his choice. But he had an obligation. He took care of his obligation. Now he's living his best life. But you know what I'm saying? So technically, he can be looked at as being a deadbeat, but he's not a deadbeat.
I mean, yeah, and that
in a sense, but technically he can be. But you understand what I'm saying?
Depending on what you need.
Depending on what you need and how you
I took
the
care
criteria.
I took care of my financial obligations, and I survived. I worked back up to where I'm supposed to be. So yeah, can I go by myself? Like, okay, real disclosure. I love weapons and swords, right? Guns and knives. I love them, right?
Like most men like to do.
So yeah, I have a really decent collection of such and such right now, right?
Right.
It's not cheap to collect certain things like that, but I can indulge myself. Well, let's say my son, my ex calls me and says, "Hey, I need $1,000 for dental work." No, I'm not giving you $1,000. I just paid you child support. Have a good day. Not because I'm being a jerk. This hasn't happened, by the way. I'm giving you an example.
No.
Not because I'm being a jerk, but because when I was worried about keeping a roof over my head, you know what you said?
Message.
You said, I have to protect myself. I got to take care of myself.
Ooh.
So, fast forward half a decade, and now you're saying, I need more help from you. And I'm like, no, I have to protect myself. No.
The irony of that one. No, I know I have to. And he said, I'm pretty sure you said with a smile, no, I have to protect myself.
And at that point, I'm going to be called, he a deadbeat. He ain't helping his kids. He ain't doing this. He ain't doing that. Wait a minute. See, the black and white on this paper says I have this obligation. And now, listen, this is a message. It'll be about a paragraph.
Message.
When you get divorced or break up and you get child support, and let's say that child support is $250, $300 a month, because that's what it is for a lot of people, right? And you seem like you happy. You seem like you winning. In about a year, 2 years, 3 years, that's going to be chump change because life is more expensive. And even if you're going to drag him back, which is what some of y'all do, every 3 years for an adjustment. And every 3 years, you get another raise, or I have to quit my job, which is what my father did. Every time you want an adjustment, I got to quit and go back to making less so that I can survive, because nobody in their right mind can survive $2,000 a month in child support unless they balling.
And in today's market, I mean, we got inflation now. Eggs is what, like almost $3-4 now.
And so once again, here's my thing, because I could be wrong, but when I come off child support in July, my son's will be 18 years old. So what happens in November, January, next February? He's not capable of living on his own. He's not capable of moving out. He's not capable of taking care of himself. So he's still a financial burden on somebody, right?
But no longer you.
But no longer me. So now I have to now choose to help my kid. Whereas you chose to not be with me. And now, that's a price to pay. That's a penalty.
It is funny too, because it's not funny, but it's called life. Now at that point, when you don't decide to continue helping your son at that point right now,
I become a deadbeat.
That's where I was going with it.
I've graduated to deadbeatness.
Even though prior to whatever you turn 18, you took care of your obligation. Never been late, never been locked up. Long as I know Seth, never been locked up because of child support. Now everything else I don't know, but I'm saying for child support.
I haven't been locked up as an adult, and we're gonna leave it right there.
Leave it right there. But that's the realness right there.
Well, but once again, like I say, this is, and my son might listen to this stream, and we might have a conversation about it. So I'm not trying to say anything inflammatory. This is just facts, right?
Find the lie.
For anyone out here who is thinking this, when you decide to have a kid with somebody, my personal opinion, that too many people decide to spread their legs and do some things that have long-term consequences. If you have a baby with somebody and you have a baby that's going to live for an entire lifetime with somebody you couldn't make it work with for less time than you were married, less time than you were pregnant. That is, that's one of my pet peeves.
So, ladies and gentlemen, he's saying that.
Kills me.
Ladies and gentlemen, he's telling you that it takes about 9 months for a woman to have a baby. If you've met
guide the club.
If people are having kids and their relationship is shorter than 9 months, that is a problem.
Huge problem. Why?
Huge problem.
Anyway, so once again,
yeah.
So I just want to close it out with that.
Yes.
That once again, my son could see this stream. I'm not being inflammatory. When I got married, I fully intended on staying married for the rest of my life,
Facts.
for better and worse. There are no
Yeah.
angels. I've already gave my confession earlier in the stream, so ain't nobody throwing stones. But if you make a baby, you should take care of that baby. And if you're gonna take care of that baby, it should be with somebody who you want to be with. And ladies, just because he got swag, just because he had game, if this dude ain't really there for you, why'd you give him a baby? 54% of all black men, for better or for worse, don't even have kids. But it's almost proven that almost 70% of all the children in the black community are being created by less than 20% of the men in the black community. Y'all are choosing men to have babies with. And if a man has more than one baby mama, or definitely more than 3 baby mamas, you are never going to get financial support from him unless you go find Nick Cannon, because he's giving out babies for free at this point.
And mind you, Nick is only one person that's actually doing that. So he's like a 1%er when it comes to that. But I think we beat this conversation up long enough.
Yeah.
I think there's some good nuggets in here. So
Hopefully.
But people, if you're listening, you can go to the DaChop Team Twitter, on IG, and dachopteam@gmail.com for feedback, questions, concerns, hate mail, love mail. We take it all. I want to read some comments. I want to hear your thoughts. Please feel free to reach out to us.
Exactly. And this is the new, gentler, kinder Chop Team. We
and actually we
didn't get angry at all, did we?
No, we just talk. We're really just talking about our men and a little bit of women, but really our men out there versus the deadbeat versus the average guy who want to take care of their kids. But once again, I'm twinsinc, your host, and
Seth the Dark Child,
also the host too, right? We both hosted up in here as bad boy.
Exactly.
But tune to us next week, 3 p.m. ish on Sundays. The not live, but recording will be dropped on Mondays on your major podcast platform that you use. We out.
Peace.
And no music, but we're gonna end it like this.
Godfather, all right.